welcome back to my channel. Today I am not going to be doing a reaction video type today. I'm going to be doing a review on the new Netflix series called XO Kitty, and I'm going to be reviewing the first episode. So before we get into the review, there will be spoilers as I'm going to be dissecting and talking about each scene, the characters, and what do I think about the first episode as a whole for the new show. So without further ado, let's get to it. I want to point out, if you see me looking up, and I guess looking down, I have notes just to make sure like I'm staying on track and make sure that I don't forget anything that I want to point out. It's been 2 years since we said goodbye to the franchise, to all the boys I loved before, as we said goodbye to Lara Jean Covey and Peter Kavinsky's love story as they navigate college. Now we are here to explore the youngest member of the Covey family, Kitty, through her life adventures in Seoul, South Korea. So I want to also say that I like that we're navigating Kitty's storyline, because I feel like in the movies we didn't get to see much of Kitty's storyline. We really saw her character more as matchmaker for Lara Jean, and Margot was just there as like the supportive sister. And so I'm glad that we're finally getting to see Kitty's story unravel in this new series and hearing her journey as she navigates through romance. So the main synopsis of the show is that Kitty is going to be going to Seoul, South Korea, as she has been accepted to a new Korean boarding school called KISS. And I've been studying some Korean myself, so I'm gonna try to pronounce the Korean pronunciation, and I'll put it up here if you guys want to say it too. So the Korean pronunciation for KISS is 한국 서울 국제 학교. In the final film, the whole Covey family went on a family trip to South Korea, and they visited one of the spots that their mother and father went when they came, and it was one of like lockets, a loving like a locket that couples use. So they wanted to create a locket for themselves. And during that time when the whole family was at a lockets, Kitty discovered a boy, and his name was Day. And since that, throughout the movie, they stayed in contact with each other, and then they started having feelings for each other, and it was Kitty's first boyfriend. So now Kitty is going to be going to South Korea at the new KISS boarding school where Day goes. Let's backtrack to how Kitty found out about KISS. She was rummaging through her grandparents' house, and she discovered that her mother went to KISS as well, the same boarding school that Day goes to. So the scene starts with Kitty at a pool FaceTiming her boyfriend Day, and you know how connections be when it's overseas, and then a phone call comes in, and it's KISS, the admissions to KISS, and it's a phone call that Kitty got accepted KISS, the boarding school. So, and the ironic part about it is that Kitty is in grade 11, which is the same start that Lara Jean was when in the first movie. So I like that analogy that we're going back to. So Kitty does like this whole presentation in front of her stepmom and her dad that she wants to go to KISS, the same boarding school that her mom went to, and as well go to South Korea to discover more about her mother's culture, because Kitty's only been told about her mother from her family, her sisters, her dad, and she really didn't get to experience that much or get to know much about her mom, because her mom passed away so young. So with the hopes of going to her mother's homeland, she'll be able to learn more about who she is and what is the person that she wants to become. Her parents say yes, and she ends up going to the boarding school, and she's excited. So now we're on to the next scene of the set, and we have our very first cameo. Jenny Han, she's at the airport, and speaking about with Jenny Han, I have started a new book series called, I think you guys know, I loved The Summer I Turned Pretty. I watched it last year's summer, and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to read the books just to prepare myself for the second season. And so I did read the first book, and I really enjoyed it, and so now I'm going to be reading like the second book, and I will do a review about the second book here on this channel. She bumps into a snobby guy who could possibly be our antagonist, and he like says to Kitty like, like speaking in English and just being snobby and rude. But I'm hoping that that character maybe will get a redemption arc. We'll maybe know why he's so snobby and mean. So yeah, so now we are taken into Seoul, and we are introduced to another character, and her name is Yuri Han, and she and her father is a famous CEO hotel company, and she's like picking out clothes for herself, and her assistant is helping her out pick out the clothes. However, she has like this like mean personality toward the assistant, which I guess maybe because she's like rich girl, so mean and snobby. But and like she's also like I've noticed like it's kind of like a two-split personality with her, because she has like this like influencer type, because like when she stepped out of the clothing store, like everybody was calling her Yuri 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 and taking pictures of her. It's into her like limo car, and her driver's like taking her, driving her, and then Kitty like gets hit by the car, and then she's like welcoming to help her, and Kitty gets in the car with Yuri, and Yuri asks, where are you headed to? And she's like, Kiss. And Yuri's like, oh, me too. And she's like kind of nice to Kitty, and then like she keeps getting these text messages called from Baby, and I infer that maybe the text messages from Day. It just, you know, with the romance type of drama, typical teen dramas, you know, it's possibly that it's Day maybe getting that texting her, but obviously we're not there yet. We're in the beginning scene. Follows with Kitty and the boarding school. She's at Kiss. She's getting, you know, looking around and, you know, getting adjusted, where we get introduced to Yuri Han's mother. And Yuri Han's mother is named Julia Lim, and she is the principal of Kiss. And a little, you know, confrontation between her mom, because in the car ride, Yuri kept ignoring calls from her mom. Her mom kept calling her. She just would not answer. So I'm guessing that there's like some type of disconnect with their relationship. So hopefully we'll get to see that as we go along the episodes. They have a conversation about a person named Juliana. And there's pictures, and it's kind of like taking note back to like Dispatch, if y'all know what Dispatch is. It's kind of like paparazzi in Korea, saying that there was photos of her and Juliana like hugging, and they were both like hugging but like in a romantic way. And Yuri said like, oh no, Juliana, she's just my friend, we're just good friends, like nothing is going on. But I'm thinking that could be the case, like maybe that, you know, Yuri is not ready to maybe like to come out to her mother, because maybe she like won't accept it. To prevent if there's like any scandals, Julia tells Yuri that she's gonna call Juliana's parents just to make sure that there's no scandals, nothing going on. Yuri says that, oh no, like it's nothing, you know, it's just I was just hugging my friend goodbye. And you know, like it goes back to maybe that Yuri is seeking that love that she's not getting from her parents, so she's going like, you know, she gets it from Juliana, but we don't know that yet. This is only episode 1. This is my interpretation. And she notices through the picture, because she brought the picture that she had found from her grandparents' house, that this woman that is with her mother, and her mother's name is Eve Song, is the same lady that looks familiar, who's the principal. So Kitty goes, asks the principal, hey, is this you in the picture of my mom? And she's like, oh, in the 90s? And the principal's like, oh no, like, I don't know who she is, I'm sorry. And I'm like, did y'all have like a fallout? Like, what if that's odd and weird? Laura leaves for the welcome party, but she gets dressed, she makes it on time, because I forgot to say that she did not tell Dave that she got accepted to Kiss, which, first off, why? And even Yuri said it in the car, like, you know, that's not a very good idea to not tell your boyfriend that you're coming to surprise him, because you know that's kind of unexpected type of thing. Kitty is so grown up. You know, I want to go talk about Anna Cathcart. She has truly grown up from the first movie to now, and you can really like see it. You know, she's feeling herself, you know, dressing up, putting on makeup, and I just love it. You know, we love to see character development. So Kitty makes it to the welcome party, and she bumps into that snobby guy, and he's like, says, excuse me, and he's like, Kitty's like, oh, so you do speak English? And I'm like, yes, he does. And he's just being snobby and rude. And we also get introduced to another character named Q, which I think that Q might be my favorite character. I don't know, he seems like he's gonna be like the comedy relief of the show, but we don't know much about him yet. So Q seems, and Q might be my favorite character so far, and I don't even know him yet. And then the snobby boy and Q said, "Oh look, there's Day." And Kitty turns around and she sees Day, and they're doing that little like K-drama run to each other, giving her a hug, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm here! I surprised you! I'm here! We can finally get our first kiss!" And then Day's like, and I'm like, "Kitty," like he says, "Kitty, there's something I gotta tell you." And then who pops up? Giddy. And she's like, "Kitty," we like see each other again. And then Giddy says, Giddy says, "Kitty, this is my boyfriend," and it's Day. And I'm like, I knew it. It was pretty obvious, but I'm like, I knew it. And then typical K-drama, she's like, runs away because the second lead falls in with the second lead female, and it's just not what we wanted for the first episode, but of course that's what happened. Day, you kind of wrong, you kind of messy here. Like, you trying to keep this relationship with this girl who's overseas, but you don't find yourself another girl, which I get makes sense because it's kind of hard to do long distance relationship. We are not like physically in person, but that still isn't the fact that he was pretty much cheating. And obviously time has passed since the the third film. You still could have said like, "Hey Kitty, I don't think this is gonna work out," but again, they're teenagers, so I can't really, they're not thinking right. Teenagers be making mistakes. But we'll see what the next episode. Definitely great for K-drama lovers, K-pop lovers. So I wrote down some of the songs that I heard. I heard 17, I heard BTS, 17 Hot, let me drop a lot, hot. I heard BTS, I think I heard Girls' Generation. We got Somi, What You Waiting For, you already know. And we got Taste That Pink Venom, Taste That Pink Venom, Taste That Pink Venom, get 'em, get 'em, get 'em. And we got 17, Darling You, ooh, and Darling You. So I'm like, ooh, we got a little K-pop in here, and I'm like, I'm loving it. So my final thoughts would be, it's a really good first episode. Just getting introduced to our characters, and I really enjoyed it as well. Since I'm doing these episodes weekly, please do not comment any spoilers for the next episodes, because I don't want to be spoiled, just like you don't want to be spoiled for your favorite show. I don't want to be spoiled because I just want to enjoy the experience just as everybody else. So let's keep the spoilers about the current episodes or episodes that I've already watched going forward, just to let y'all know. But thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.